Hi guys, Erin here at Queen Bee Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the longer version of your astrology for the week. I'm going to start with today, which is Sunday the 23rd, and I like to go all the way to Saturday, and for me that feels like a more comprehensive idea of what's happening for the week. So today is Sunday and the moon is in Scorpio, and in Scorpio the moon is quite comfortable. We're going deep with our emotions. We're feeling all the feels, but at the same time, there's a sense of being okay with that. Sometimes when deep emotions come up, we don't really feel prepared to deal with them. And the energy around the moon, our emotional health right now, is feeling okay with letting those feelings come up and possibly even talking about them with somebody. Mercury and the sun have just moved into Virgo. And so there's kind of that ability to look at something from a detached perspective, see the whole picture, and gain enough distance between our pain and our emotions to be able to process them in a different way. That's kind of the theme for this week, is all that inner work that we've been doing to love and accept all parts of ourselves, even the parts that we're not necessarily comfortable with sharing with other people. It's about accepting our flaws, forgiving ourselves for past mistakes, and loving all parts of ourselves, and moving forwards with a vision of what we'd like to work on, what we can't work on but we're going to just love anyway, and what kind of hopes we have for how we'd like to feel in the future. So that concept of inner work has been happening for the last few months, especially with all the planets moving through Cancer. And now what's happening is there is a sense of being able to see tangible results. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we work so hard for so long and it feels like we're not getting anywhere. This week is a week of seeing new solutions to old problems, feeling hopeful about our inner work paying off and that sort of thing. Pardon me for my notes. I have to take notes. I want to make sure that I cover everything. So on Monday, there are some really good angles. For example, we've got the moon in opposition to Uranus. So our emotional health is going to be faced with some sort of a change or a challenge. And the opportunity in this is an opportunity to, instead of being so reactive with our emotions, to pause and think and process and evaluate in a new way that we're able to create new neural pathways in our brains, essentially. If we are usually on autopilot with our emotional reactions and the things that trigger us, this is a great week for being able to see results for anything that you've been working really hard on. In that confrontation moment on Monday between the moon and Uranus, which is upheaval, surprising things, challenges, changes, there's going to be a helpful sextile between the moon and Pluto. And so what that means is that even in the face of a new challenge, in that moment of feeling tested, essentially, we're going to have easy access to whatever it is we've been working on and deciding that we would like to do differently in situations. So there's a chance to react differently and set up a new pattern for ourselves where we feel good about these new choices that we're making and the potential results that will happen. In that test on Monday, there is a very difficult angle. It is Mars square Saturn, and this exact angle, is really bad for physical injury, injury to the self when moving out there in the world. So Mars is about how we direct our energy and sometimes our bodies. Saturn is very closely associated with our bodies, especially kind of the trunk and legs. And so when Mars is square Saturn, it's a time of feeling, sometimes overestimating our abilities. Yeah, I can totally skateboard even though it's been 20 years. No, wear that helmet, wear that safety gear. Truly evaluate your situation before you jump in. Please remember you are likely to overestimate your abilities. So pull yourself back, think about your choices, that sort of thing. Honestly, though, that's the only challenging aspect I really saw this week, other than a little bit of an emotional dive that happens midweek, but we'll talk about that. So on Tuesday, the moon moves into Sagittarius, and Sagittarius loves to shoot for the stars, have fun, break the mold, travel, try new things. Well, clearly we can't travel right now, but we can travel in the mind. and we can learn new things, and we can find different ways to explore the world from the comfort of our own homes or our own towns, right? So on Tuesday, we have Mercury trine Uranus. So Mercury, which is how we think and how we communicate, is trine. That means in a helpful angle with Uranus, that planet of upheaval and change and surprises. So what I was alluding to with the whole new way of looking at things and new way of dealing with conflict and changes is when Mercury, how we think, feels in line with changes that come up, it allows us to see something as a potential opportunity rather than a roadblock, right? If we're working on a project and something comes up, it's all about how we perceive that something that comes up. We could perceive it as a huge roadblock. Oh man, I can't do the thing I wanted to do. Or we could look at it as an opportunity to do things a little bit differently, and maybe it'll work. So this simple opening of awareness, this simple ability for our minds to be more adaptable to situations is truly going to open doors. So be mindful of any inspiration that you receive this week, any thoughts of, hey, I'd like to do this differently, or I'd like to try this differently. Go with it, because that is going to be your soul's invitation for growth and transformation and an opportunity to put into practice these healing concepts. The dip of energy I was referring to in the middle of the week is that the moon ends up in these really weird, it's called a quincunx, these really weird angles on Wednesday. And so this helpful, buoyant energy in the beginning of the week could possibly take a dive. Our emotions do that sometimes, right? So the challenge though, so we've got moon square Neptune and moon square Mercury. So in those emotional dives, we might start to question our dreams and our plans. And this is an opportunity to love and accept all parts of yourself, even the doubtful parts, even the sad ones, you know. If that emotional part of you comes up, instead of scrapping your plans or whatever, tend to your emotional needs. Make that cup of tea. Go to bed early and watch a movie. Call up a friend who makes you feel better. Tend to those emotional needs rather than scrapping things, right? Because as soon as Wednesday passes, we're back up in that buoyant energy again. We've got some good things happening. Thursday, the moon moves into Capricorn. And when that happens, it's a very grounding, centering energy, which is kind of a relief sometimes when we feel like we've been out in the sky for a bit. But moon is going to be trine Mars and Sun. So that means that our emotional health is going to again feel in line with those plans that we have and the new vision for ourselves. So like I said, don't let Wednesday throw you for a loop. Tend to those emotional needs. You'll feel better on Thursday. The other thing happening is Friday and Saturday, we've got some awesome angles between the moon and Mercury and Jupiter. So again, feeling lucky, feeling like things might work out. That super positive energy is happening. I want to give a quick shout out to my girl at Stars and Spoons. She is amazing. You got to go check her out. And she had integrated the action of the asteroids last week or the week before. And I was really inspired by that. And I was checking out the action of some special asteroids this week. And lo and behold, there's some good stuff. So Chiron is the wounded healer. And Chiron is in a trine this week with Vesta. And Vesta is a reference to the Vestal Virgins of ancient Rome. It represents holding a fire, and metaphorically and literally, they would tend to the temple fires. But their job was to devote a specific amount of time of their lives, about 30 years, to spiritual development, enlightenment, and purity. They were not with anybody. And after they spent this time at the temple, they were given an elevated social status where they were not the property of a man. And the reason that I bring this up is because sometimes our pain and our wounds kind of keep us prisoner to old routines and old ways of looking at ourselves. But with Chiron, the wounded healer, in a trine with Vesta, it's a super, super helpful, beautiful, easy angle that's going to help us see the merits of dedication. Again, that feeling of our inner work is paying off. It really was for something. And all this time that I've been feeling in the doldrums, you know what? I'm actually starting to kind of feel good right now. And I feel like even though I'm being tested, I understand why. And now when tests come up, I can see clearly what the old me would have done and what the new me is going to do as much as possible in the future, right? So this helpful angle is all about emotional healing, feeling like our work is paying off. We've got feelings of luck and hope and all these good things for the week. And so what I'm going to close with is I pulled a couple of tarot cards for the week. And the first one that fell out while I was shuffling actually was Strength. And this is from the Everyday Witch Tarot. And Strength is depicted here by a woman who is leading a lion with gentleness and compassion. She's not forcing the lion, she is his friend. And she's leaving a tornado behind. She is feeling like her magic is bringing her somewhere, and she's leaving a tornado behind. Pardon the ring light there. This card is wonderful in that it is a reassurance that you are on the right path, that you will find that inner strength that you've been working so hard to cultivate. And lo and behold, with every little step, you're going to be leaving those tornadoes in the past. So I felt like this was a really reassuring card, just like the energy that I was feeling with the astrology, that all your hard work is going to pay off. Just keep working on the honor and the patience and thinking before we react, right? Leading with compassion, not force. And then that was my jumper card, and I shuffled and I opened the deck. And the other card that I pulled for the week is the Knight of Pentacles. Again, this is the Everyday Witch deck. The Knight of Pentacles is about feeling like the action plan that we have been working so hard at, and it feels like it's taking so long to develop, is finally getting off the ground. A knight has a horse, or in this deck has a broom to fly on. And the knights do represent action. Pentacles is earth, which represents that which we have manifested physically, be it money or a job or a plan that's coming together. And so the Knight of Pentacles is a reminder that yes, things are coming together. Yes, action is happening. But Pentacles are also a reminder that things move slowly, especially good things take a long time to develop. So this is a card of being patient, being reassured that things are happening, and that you're going in the right direction. So lots of positivity this week, lots of good stuff. This is Erin here at Queen Bee Tarot. I thank you so much for joining me for the Astrology of the Week, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.